Welcome into another edition of the Gator Nation Football Podcast Film Review. I'm your host, James DiVirgilio, and on this episode, we'll take a look at Florida's defense versus Texas A&M's offense. I've seen a lot of really bad defensive film in the past 3 to 4 years while doing this channel, and this was amongst the worst. It certainly seems like through 3 games, the transition from Austin Armstrong to Ron Roberts, his mentor, has only resulted in a defense that is far worse. Now, if you're saying that Florida's defense last year was amongst the worst ever, you would be right. But as I mentioned on the channel throughout last year, a lot of what Florida was doing on defense tactically and play design-wise, as well as play calling-wise, was good. In fact, there were some ways Florida's defense could have been solid last year at times. They were their own worst enemy when it came to tackling or giving up an explosive play. But this year, all the same things that were true last year are also true. Plus, we have seemingly very poor play calling and play call timing, in addition to just significantly more mistakes on the back end of Florida's secondary. A lot of head-scratching stuff for us to look at here. I'm going to take a look at 15 or 16 plays. I'm not going to belabor the point. We've seen a lot of this terrible stuff on film. I'm going to spend most of my time on the plays where, again, it just doesn't make a lot of sense with what Florida's doing. And obviously, things get worse when you factor in that A&M hadn't won a road game in 10 away games against SEC opponents. And on top of that, this was Marcel Reed's first start. First start outside of bowl game appearances play on the road in the swamp. Not great. As always, if you like the content on this channel, sub to this channel, follow us on social media, check out our weekly podcast, and drop us a dono, where you can support our efforts to bring you this type of content all year long. Also, join us on October 5th for the UCF game. We'll be tailgating at Gator Walk. The link is in the description to get your ticket. All right, with that being said, let's hop right into this disaster film, and we'll start with 2nd and 21, where Florida, presumably, starting the game off, downhill, long way to go. A&M's going to empty it out. If you're the DC, you might be thinking maybe A&M wants to run with the quarterback here. Probably don't want to make him do anything complicated. Maybe even a simple wide receiver screen. Let's keep everything in front of us and make it 3rd and long, right? And Florida largely is set up to do that, at least with their pre-snap look. But things are going to go off the rails once the ball is actually snapped. Sim pressure look right here. We've covered this many times before. Simulated pressure means we're maybe going to bring all of them, maybe going to bring none of them, right? We can do anything we want from this look. Ron Roberts is one of the grandfathers of this, one of the first to do it. Of course, NFL teams, Georgia, kind of early to feature this. Dan Lanning at Oregon. Most football teams now feature simulated pressures or creepers. Again, Ron was one of the founders of that. For Florida, though, it just has not worked. There's all sorts of tactics that can work depending on when you use them, how you use them, if your defense can line up correctly. But for Florida, it's not been working. And one thing that's really been driving me personally crazy is how Florida chooses to bring their non-traditional rushers, in this case Shamar James, from positions that are so far away. We see it every single week, and we're going to see it again here. You're going to see a drop off the line from Pup. We're going to see Shamar become your 4th rusher. We're not going to bring a pressure. We're going to just bring 4. But Shamar, if he chooses to attempt to time this at all, might wind up getting home. But instead, we're content to bring him from here, which is, a good 12 yards away from where the quarterback's going to be. I don't get it. Don't like it. Don't get it. It's not been working. Let's roll the film for you so you can see exactly what I just said. There comes Shamar. Look how far away he is. Now imagine again that he at least attempted at any point in time to time this. And it's a redshirt freshman. Even if he sniffs it out, if he goes too early, who really cares, right? He's on the road. They're not going to be changing the plays this late in the snap count. Let's go ahead and take a chance with that. But he's coming from so far away. This would work. They don't see this coming. They're too late to pick this up. But Florida's also only going to bring 4, which means if you bring 4 and there's 6 linemen, there's 6 gaps, there's going to be a gap he can run through. He can escape, right? On top of that, we have Pub doing what he's supposed to be doing. Wall off this receiver, number 2 receiver, to the inside. Make sure he's not coming in here. And then if not, set up and take a look at the quarterback, which you're going to see him do correctly. There he is, turn ID the quarterback, because now he's got to stop the quarterback if what happens could happen, which is they run. Now, Florida right here has got a problem. We have 2 people in the same gap. You cannot have that. You have to have gap discipline and rush lane discipline. We've seen this plague Florida all year long. We're good here. We're good here. We're good with Shamar, and we're wrong here. Now I've got a nice big fat gap right here, right? Not great. It's going to allow Marcel Reed to come flying out of here. Right there, no one's anywhere near him because we're blown out of the gap. Again, you never want to see this, right? This is not what you want to see on the defensive line. You don't want 2 guys right next to each other when you're bringing 4. It's not going to work. He's going to fly up here. Then what you also don't want to see are a bunch of missed tackles. Pup Howard here, bad angle. He's going to get cooked. He's also not going to help funnel this to the right area, right? If you're Pup, you want to force him to keep going this way. You have Boone and trail. You have help here. You're good. Don't let him come back out here. Well, he's going to let him come back out there. That's going to create a problem. Not even close. One more time, look at Pup here. Again, Pup's played well this year, but that's not something you want to see on film. Then here comes DJ Douglas, who's going to be all over this film for all the wrong reasons. I don't even need to say anything else about him. The film's going to speak for his play himself. And then here's DJ Douglas. He's going to come in and he's going to take a ridiculously bad angle. Where does he think he's going? I have no idea. He's got his entire team on the other side of the field right here, and yet he's going to like race to beat him there. Okay, let's get the arm wave out there and start swimming. Let's get beat here. And then Marcel's going to say, wow, this is the easiest 30-yard run I can possibly make. This is great. This defense is just as soft as I thought they were when I watched them in pregame film. First down A&M. Same drive, 3rd and 10 now. Here's the route combo you're going to have from A&M. You're going to have a hitch right here and a dig right behind, right? So a very simple read for a young quarterback. If he's going to fall back, take your hitch underneath. If he doesn't, see what happens if a safety comes down, or if he's going to engage him, maybe go elsewhere or just pull it down and run, right? Very, very simple. They're going to keep their running back in here to max protect this. Just a really easy window read here. Keep things simple for your quarterback. It's first drive. Let's not get too crazy here. Very elementary stuff. But when you're playing Florida, elementary stuff can work really, really well. Let's look at how great this is. All right, right away, Florida. Going to drop back on this side, right? We're going to play. He's going to take all of one vertical. This is Devin Moore, and this is what I'm going to guess is going to happen. He's taking all of one vertical. However, if he drops in, and you can see with the positioning here of Douglas, that Douglas is going to be sitting on anything that comes to the inside. So again, ideally, guessing from this, what we have here, this is going to be Moore, and this, anything in here, is going to be leveraged on and hopefully driven down on right here by Douglas, right? What happens? You already know. Here comes the easiest dig route you've seen in your whole life. All right, let's look at this. There's your inside route. There's your dig. We've got pretty far away here. Again, even if I'm responsible for all of number 1 vertical here, to me, if I'm coaching, this is too far. This is the first down line. What am I protecting against here? It's not 2nd down and 1, right? It's not a shot time. They need a first down. I'm not protecting the stick. So even if my job is to be back here, this is too far for my liking. I don't like that. And if I'm coaching the safeties, look at this. Look at all the green grass he has. If I'm coaching the safety, where are you going, Douglas? What are you protecting? The field goal line? You can't even see that. It's not actually there. What are you doing? Who are you covering? What's going on here? We're split safetying this, right? These defenders are responsible for these 2 receivers. You're not worried about what's going on over here. What are we doing? Florida safeties consistently, whether it's Douglas or Castell or seemingly anyone, thinks their job is to stay behind the receiver and tackle them once they catch the ball. And generally not as they're catching the ball, once they catch the ball. It's like a true safety. I'm going to be safe, make sure you catch whatever you want. I don't know, it's maddening. This is the first down line. I mean, what are we doing, right? What are we doing here? Redshirt freshman. This is your chance. If you're a safety or a DB, you're looking forward to playing a guy like this. You know they're going to keep things simple. And this is the result right here. And then we can't even make a tackle? Again, Douglas, what's your job here? Your job's to come down on that particular route. That's the route that's most likely to be run. And you're swiping at air right here, brother. Look at this. We're getting a whole lot of nothing. Maybe you touch his calf, right? And now we're off to the races. And now a simple dig is going to become almost an explosive. I mean, it's just so easy. That's so easy. That's so poor. It's just so bad. There's no other way to say it. For an SEC level team with this many athletes, a blue chip ratio above 80% on defense, to be putting stuff on film like this already in this game, in game 3, in year 3 of Napier, is atrocious. We've had 2nd and 21. We've had 3rd and 10. How about now 3rd and 13? Maybe now Florida will hold them to a field goal, get a stop here. Again, Florida going to be in a look, simulated pressure look right here. Who are they going to bring? What are we going to do? We're going to confuse the defense. Let's take a look at Gums right here, number 34. And if any of you can explain to me what he's doing, I'll listen, right? You explain to me what Gums is going to do on this play, because we are running for sure. We're definitely going to run a simulated pressure. This is true. Here's your simulated pressure, right? And what's going to be simulated, because we're gonna run only 4. Only 4 guys are coming here. Let me clear this out for you. Only 4 guys are coming. 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? He's responsible for your running back right here. Now you could say perhaps Gums is going to be walling off the inside here, which he could be, and maybe, except that's not what he's doing. Look, there's an inside receiver. He looks at him, and then he thinks, okay, maybe I'm supposed to be on the running back, ? Because now he's going to ID the running back. Okay, I'm on the running back. Okay, no, I'm going to stop. No, I don't really know what I'm doing or where I'm going. But we have a real big problem here. And also, this is where Florida, again, look, I don't know what the play call is, but the bottom line is the communication of this is wrong. The execution of this is wrong, period. No matter what they're running, it's not going to make sense. And that's going to screw the play up. But also, you're playing a redshirt freshman. You could just line up and keep this simple, right? You could just bring a pressure. But if you bring a pressure, especially one that's likely to get through the A gap, then you know the quarterback is likely, like we saw earlier, right? Or not earlier, but we're going to see later, to escape here or here, right? That's likely to be the case with an A gap pressure. He's going to get out one way or the other. Now, unlike the previous time where we basically had two guys in the same gap, notice here, Florida's linemen do a decent job here. Here's one. Here's two. We're doing a good job holding up here. Cersei's covering the running back here. We don't know what Gums is doing. Haven't done a great job here on the edge, especially if he is the edge defender. I don't know if he's supposed to be setting the edge. I don't know because I don't know what the heck Gums is doing. I have no idea. But if he's supposed to be setting the edge and he is the last man, then he has come too far inside. If he's not supposed to be setting the edge and he's supposed to instead basically be like a B-gap player, then he's fine. And this is going to be on Gums. But regardless, we have an easy escape now, right? And Shamar's thinking, man, I'm getting here free all day long. But you have to work as a unit, right? You have to work as a unit. We're not as a unit because now we're going to allow a right-handed quarterback to roll out to the right, which is exactly what you don't want to do. Let's also take a look at Cersei, who's going to be covering, quote unquote, the running back. He's also going to be open on this play. There goes your running back. Watch him on your screen. Now we've escaped. We've rolled out to the right. We've got tons of time. And right now, although you can't see where the ball is going to go off your screen, you have an easy throw here. If he wants, he's got to throw to the running back, which will also be a first down. But good thing for Marcel Reed, he's got an even easier throw to a wide open standstill target where he does not make a great throw, but it's good enough right here. And of course, here's Florida's two safeties. There's Douglas and there's Castell doing what Florida safeties do best. Sit behind the deepest man and watch them catch the ball. They excel at that. They're fantastic at that. They're going to do a really good job of that right here. And then they're going to do the second best job of things they do, which is look at each other and talk about what went wrong every single play, right? What's going on here, man? What's up here? And then wait, what's going on here, right? Because nobody knows. This is a clown show of defense, right? It's embarrassing. It's ridiculous. It's sub-SEC level. It's sub-high school level. This is just absolutely outrageous, especially given what A&M is running here. Nothing complicated, and Florida can't get out of their own way, and they often seem like they might as well not even be coached with what they're putting on film, right? This stuff is filthy, it's disgusting, it's simply unacceptable at any level, and you're going to see 12 all over this film, as we've seen Castell over the film, and Florida might do well to just play with no safeties, right? How about this week? Just don't play any safeties at all, because clearly we have no idea what that position is supposed to be doing, and in general, this defense is just a dumpster fire right now. 1st and 10, Florida did hold A&M to a field goal, so it's 3-0 here. Let's see what happens here on this first play. What are we going to get? Inside zone. All right, this should be, Florida looks like they're in good shape right here, right? Got a 5-man front, got a bare front here, 5-man front, in good position. We're going to bring our safety down to be our extra run-fit defender. So far, so good. This looks really good. Every gap's accounted for. We have control of our blocks. This is a win. This is a teach tape for what you want to do up front. This has got to be a win for the Gators, and it is going to be a win. The running back's just going to take what he has and squeeze right here. This is his helmet. He's chosen this because he sees nothing, and he's going to take 2 yards. Exactly what he's coached to do, and we're going to get out of here, right? No big deal. Douglas is going to see this, and you're going to see what he decides, which is okay, cool. He's probably tackled. I'm just going to kind of come on in here and pile in. I'm going to pile in and just push my own guys. He's probably down, push my own guys. I am the safety, by the way. I'm the last run-fit defender. I'm going to push these guys down because he's probably in there somewhere, except as you can see from my circle, right, he's not there anymore. In fact, he's right here, and now he's going to come out this way, and we've got 3 or 4 Gators all piled up in here, and we've got our safety who's come down just to push our own guys because why not? Let's add on there. That seems cool. And now we're out to the edge, and there we go. There's the miss. There is aforementioned Douglas, the safety, now on the ground again. We've seen that a lot. It's pretty frequent. He's going to be on the ground, And then we're going to be off to the races. There's more. And then Castell at the end tackling him, not tackling him with any kind of, emphatic power or hit, but just basically a gentle wrestle to the ground. And then A&M, of course, down here again thinking, man, it cannot be this easy. This is a first down. This is great. We're just going to go ahead and keep on trucking in the swamp. How about this Ron Roberts special for a play call? We've got trips out to this side. You've got an eligible right here. Marcel Reed in the backfield. Do you A, and this time, Florida's going to try to bring what Ron Roberts clearly loves, a safety sim pressure right here. Again, lined up. Looks like pressure. Who's going to come? Who's not going to come? We're going to bring a safety sim pressure. Again, we love this. Way off the ball, but we are going to try and time this. So that's a little better. We're going to try to actually sync this up. Credit where credit is due. And then the only problem with this play call, we're still late, right? So we're kind of half-heartedly timing this. You'd like to see him be here. We're still a good 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage and still a good 10 yards away from the quarterback. Okay, not good enough there. But most importantly, let's just play the little numbers game here. We have 1, 2, and 3 receivers on 3rd down and 8. How many defenders do we have with this play call right here? Well, obviously someone's doing something wrong. On this side, we're good. On this side, that's Devin Moore. 1, 2, and 3. Let's watch this unfold a little further. Oh, wait. Okay, well, here's Gates, who now recognizes, I suppose, that he's not supposed to be the one coming on this sim pressure. There's your 1, 2, 3, 4-man rush. Again, this is not a blitz. This is a version of Florida playing safe on the back end. Safe, quote unquote, on the back end, because we're not blitzing somebody, but yet we're wasting Gates right here. Someone's confused. Here's, again, Castell is too late, right? You'd rather have him already be coming through this gap. That might be a sack. And now, if you're Marcel Reed, you're opening up to this right side, and all you see are just acres of space here to throw the football and one defender. Okay, great. This is super easy. I mean, he has every single one of these. He's got an out route here. This guy's already looking like, man, I'm wide open here. He's got his flat route. I mean, he's got all 3 of these throws. Moore's not guarding anybody. Here's the sticks. Again, explain it to me in the comments. I'm ready to hear what this is. And now we just need to get the ball out to this guy at all. Any pass at all. Just get it to him. And we've got tons of space to turn upfield and basically get another explosive play, right? Another one. I mean, that is just the simplest of all simple throws into the flat. And we're basically generating an explosive passing play from that. So one more time in all of its glory, because we're here to suffer together, right? We're here to just watch this together. Here it is in reverse. Look at this. There we go. Let's get back to the start, and let's watch this live one more time. There's your sim pressure. There's people dropping back. Nobody covering anyone. Down the sideline. Touch gently out of bounds for a first down. All right, despite the number of plays we've seen already that are quite ugly, it's still 3-0, and now it's 4th and 5, right? Get a stop here, get the ball back, down 3-0. The whole first quarter's basically gone with A&M having the ball, but you're still in the game. Let's get a stop right here. Man and cross in motion. This is going to show that they're in man. Quick communication here, right? Communication here. You can see these two talking. Okay, I got him. I'm going to stay on him. Cool, I'm going to drop back. That's Castell. We're good. We're in man. A&M also knows we're in man. Now, if you're Florida and you see man, what do you run? Well, if you guess slant with a couple of hitches, that would be correct, and possibly a go route. If you're A&M and you see man, or you're most teams and you see man, what do you run? You probably run some sort of rub route, which again, Florida's largely allergic to on offense. Here's a little rub route. This is a good one. And in fact, Marshall is just, unfortunately, Marshall's up top right here. Marshall's just going to lose control a little bit of this route. So he's in man, and he's got to be the one to really stay on top of this inside breaking route. And he goes crossbody jam, or he doesn't. See, that's the problem, right? Those who watch this channel for a long time know how much I believe in the crossbody jam. Marshall knows this too. If he can get his right hand on this move here, he'll be in much better position. Instead, he goes with his left arm, which does not allow him to have any leverage. You're going to get out-leveraged, which is what's going to happen. He's immediately going to wind up putting himself in trail because he cannot turn. He cannot pivot as strongly as he wants to. And you can see this right arm is floating behind him, a little fuzzy here, floating behind him. He's lost control, right? He's lost control of that. Again, if he crossbody jams right there, gets the right arm on him instead at the start, then he's going to have leverage to turn and be on top of this route, but he's not. So now we're going to be in trail, and on top of that, here comes a nice rub route. Now, Sharif Denson does a really nice job here Good spacing, good clearance, get over top of this and get on this wheel route, which he's going to crush that route. We've got good coverage here, and so things look okay at the top of your screen. Again, there's Sharif. You can see Sharif. He's in a good position. We're looking nicely there. We are not looking good here. This is a complete trail from Jason Marshall. He's put a lot of good stuff on film this season. I'm not harping on this. It's really tough to cover man press, right? One bad choice with technique. He gets a little off balance, gets a little wrong-footed, reaches out that left arm, and he's just trailing. He's behind. But let's make this guy make a throw. Unlikely he's going to do so, right? It's a tight window here, especially because that we really have their primary route, which is what they wanted. Is this one is not there. That's what they're looking for, and that's not there. Well, now Marcel Reed sees what you see. We got both hands up in the air. We got a guy grabbing at a jersey. Hey, let's just put the ball up. That looks like holding to me. Let's sling this and take a shot downfield, except, oh wait, I'm actually not even throwing it to that guy. I don't even see that. In fact, I'm just shot putting this ball into safety, right? Now, right here, we have holding, and you can see A&M receiver knows it. I've been held, and that's true. And of course, the flag comes flying in. There it is on your screen, the left side. Flag comes flying in right where the holding is, and that was, in fact, holding. This is holding. You can see it right here on the replay, obviously. There it is, and trail, holding, gets him, and that'll do that. So a 4th and 5 becomes a conversion based on a penalty. Nice rub route concept there by A&M. Again, very simple stuff for their young quarterback to handle, but Marshall loses control, holds him, even though he has a safety up top here. He's got help with Castell. He'd be better off in this situation not holding, especially with the quarterback of this stature on that kind of route. He does it. He gets beat. He gets caught. Automatic first. 2nd and 12. We're going to get Shamar again, this time coming in on a creeper. We're not showing pressure here. We're coming in on a creeper. We're showing a 5-man front on 2nd and 12. He's going to come in. Pyburn's going to come back right here, and we're just going to send 4. Just going to send 4. But what we want to focus on is what's going to happen in the secondary. All right. This is your number 1, your number 2, and your number 3 receiver. On every single play, your defenders have to know who's responsible for what. Shamar knows pre-snap that he is going to be coming in here as the 4th rusher. So you have a non-traditional rusher rushing. And that means that in this scenario, Pyburn, right, Moore, and Douglas need to know who's responsible for 1, 2, and 3. Now, there are a variety of ways that Florida could choose to cover this. I cannot know what their assignments are here, but I can tell you for sure that they are aware that there is a 1, 2, and 3, and they must cover the eligibles. They also must account for the running back. The running back comes this way, who has him? If he goes this way, who has him, right? All these things have to be accounted for. Florida, of course, is not going to account for this, as we are going to see. Now, right on the start, you're going to see Douglas is going to come down, and you're going to see Devin Moore go back. So he, right now, is eyeing the number 2 as he releases. He's eyeing the number 2. Let's watch a little further. He's still eyeing the number 2. He is not looking at the number 1, which tells you at the very least that Devin Moore thinks his responsibility is to come back here to the deep 3rd. Now, whether or not he's supposed to roll over top, we're going to find out. But he's definitely supposed to come back to the deep 3rd. That means Pyburn, as you see here, is supposed to ID the number 1 receiver. And if he runs any kind of flat route, out route, hitch route, whatever, he's supposed to flow over here to this. And then that would leave Douglas, who's supposed to take away, of course, any kind of route in here, right? From this is the number 2 or the number 3, or what happens if he goes vertical? And that's what I can't tell you. Typically in this situation, it's very likely that Douglas would take number 2 vertical. Any route that he runs vertical, he would take him. If he's not vertical, he might have a different assignment, like sit on him. But if he is vertical, he'd run with him. And Moore would take number 1 vertical if he goes vertical by default, because he's going to come back here. And then he would also be able to help on 2 if 2 runs, for example, a corner route. He'd have his vertical as well. Now look, Florida's already in trouble even with this design right here, because you can imagine a bunch of route combos that would give Florida trouble, given you have Pyburn out here and this is the number 1 receiver. You got some problems, right? Let's assume, for example, that we're just going to run this combination right here. If we run this corner route right here and Devin Moore's assigned to him, and then you run number 3 on a go, what are we doing here, right? Again, there's lots of ways you can attack this. Now, A&M does not know this pre-snap, and that's part of the disguise. But in general, what matters for Florida is that we are going to blow this. There's Moore again. Moore still IDing the number 2 receiver, and largely, in my opinion, he's going to wait to see if he's going to run a corner route. He's going to soak that up. Douglas should be waiting to see if he's going to run a vertical. Your number 3 receiver has now come across the field, so he's shallow. So we can let that go. Shallow comes across. We're going to pick that up here and here. That's their responsibility, right? So now we're set up. Here's your underneath defenders. Here's our over-the-top defenders. And now we're going to let this play out. There's Pyburn again, sinking into the flat, attempting to take away the exact route combination they run right here. So we're good here. This throw is available, but it's tight off to the sideline. 2nd and 12, we'll let that one go. His first read is over here on Marshall, which is not going to be where he wants to go because he doesn't like it. Pulls it back down. For a redshirt freshman, nice work here, by the way, by him for Marcel Reed. Look here, don't like it. Come back over here, don't like it. And now ID, you're wide open. Can't believe this throw that he is going to get to make. There's Pyburn, right? There's Pyburn. There's Douglas. And here's Moore. Now, it looks like this is bad on Moore because Moore's coming all the way over here, and he's going to be the one near this to make this play. Wide open, gets the catch, gets the touchdown, right? That looks bad on Moore, like, that seems like Moore messed that up. I think it's far more likely that Douglas is the culprit in this scenario. I can't know for sure, but I think it's far more likely that Douglas is the culprit in that scenario for very obvious reasons. And let's go back one more time, and I'll show you what those obvious reasons are. Again, quite simply here, if you were going to ask your corner from this distance to take number 2 vertical, and that's going to be his main responsibilities. If he goes vertical, you take him. Then what do you do in the case of 2 verticals, right? Because Castell is going to roll the coverage here. So in the case of 2 verticals in this assignment, what then is Moore going to do if he's responsible for 2 vertical first? If he's reading 2 to 1, then all you do is run 2 verts. Douglas never looks at number 1. He never looks at number 1. Not a single time he's looking at number 1. If he's not looking at number 1, then you run 2 verticals. It's a touchdown. It's a layup. Okay, you're not going to design a defense that in this look where you have 3 eligibles here, you're going to just allow 2 verticals to beat you. It's not going to be something that happens in any style of defense. It's just not going to exist. Which means, again, that I think Moore, to belabor the point here, is dropping back to be the deepest man in this third. He's expecting that if it's a corner route, that he's going to help out and Douglas will let that go. But if it's 2 vertical on a post, same thing, then Douglas has to run with that, right? That's my bet on this scenario, is that he's got to be vertical with 2. 2 goes vertical, Douglas stays home. We'll play in live speed one more time in all of its glory here. There it is. Right there. Douglas stays home, down underneath, covers literally no one, and then you see Douglas right here, again, covering literally no one, with Moore, who's coming from here, his job to try and help, right? He's eyeing 2, but 2 never runs a corner route, never runs into his zone. Douglas is supposed to carry him. That's most likely the scenario. Douglas carries nothing, guards no one, and it leads to a very simple touchdown on 2nd and 12, and A&M goes up 10-0. 3rd and 5, Florida in what looks to be man defense right here. Can't be sure. If you're A&M, you're probably looking at whoever safety is covering might be where you want to go. Again, here's the sticks. Here's the sticks right here. We've seen this work for other teams. A&M thinking man is going to do one option. Again, here, you got to love this option, I think. If I'm playing against Florida, every time I see this, I take this every single day. I mean, they're literally giving it to me on most occasions. I'm taking it. But he's going to eye this first and then come back down here to his rub route. Again, a rub route. Kind of a foreign concept here for us Florida Gator fans on offense, as we talked about before, but not a foreign concept here, and a nice one. Work his way around to his actual number 1 receiver. Nice work here by a redshirt freshman, by the way. He peeks up here to start to make sure, hey, is he going to stay way off? I've seen that before. If he does, maybe I've got an alert route here. If he doesn't, I'm going to come right back down here, which is actually where I'm trying to work. And now we've worked this really nice combo. It's a very nice combo, right? It's going to be a nice little whip in right here, a stick in. There's your rub route. Devin Moore does a nice job. Now notice before we saw Marshall lose contact, Moore is on top of this, and that's dead, right? He's on top of that. That's not going to be there, but this is a really clean route, and the intended receiver here versus man on this nice little whip in, as I like to call it, right behind, very confusing for the defender, right behind this rub, whip it in, there it is, create a tremendous amount of separation versus man, and this is now a very easy throw. Good protection up front by A&M. Florida, of course, not generating really any pressure when they bring a 4-man rush, any kind of consistency. That's very, very easy. Not a good ball at all. He has to turn all the way around, but good enough when you are that open. So again, if you're Florida's defense, your goal coming into this game is to make a redshirt freshman pass into tight windows, not wide open ones. But A&M, second rub route of the game, gets what they want. First time pass interference, this time a wide open receiver in the whip in. And Sharif Denson, who did a nice job, a very nice job on the previous rub to the outside, gets played here by A&M with a nice play call. So if you remember that, and if you're Sharif, this is why it's tough, right? It's why football's hard. I'm playing this in slow motion. This is tough stuff. Earlier, we saw the same exact combination, and Denson crushed this, right? We just highlighted this. He crushed this. He was on top of this, and I gave him a check mark. They tried to beat him for a tutty. This is what a good offensive play call looks like progressively. Okay, great. We saw this guy did this really well. Let's throw it at him again and see if he recognizes and thinks they're doing the same thing, and then add the wrinkle. And there's your wrinkle. And that's how good football, that's what it looks like. And look, A&M's not a good offense, right? They come into this game, they're not a good offense, but that is what a good design looks like. Very simple. Attack one guy, your quarterback knows, hey man, look, we saw him do this last time. You're on the mic to him before the snap. We saw this do this last time. Let's go ahead and eye this down on 3rd and 5. We're up 10-0. Let's keep it safe. Let's see if he takes the bait. And he does. And that's a tough job for Denson. I'm not going to hammer him for that. It's a tough route. It's a well-run route, and he's also getting a second leveling there of play calling on him. So just a good play by A&M. Results in a first down. 3rd and 11 here. Florida at the bottom of your screen is going to stack adjust. You see Devin Moore stack adjust. They're in a stack, so they're going to still play this man. We're going to play one up front here. I like this idea. Get hands on him here. And then again, they'll, depending on their rules here, they could split this east, west, north, south. They could take them straight up. There's several rules they could use here. But we stack adjust down here. Same thing here. We're man with levels, right? Single high. Florida's going to presumably bring pressure here. Again, hard to tell. Here's your running back, so you could. Obviously, somebody's manning him up. You're going to see Sharif take him on in the hole. He's going to engage to block. Gums again is going to come back over here, and we do wind up having 6 guys, but one could just be a pile on because they're blocking the running back and max protect. But again, with Florida, I mean, you just see like what? I mean, is he a low hole player because he doesn't get there? We're going to have 2 helmets right next to each other here in a second, and that's right here. I mean, just a lot of stuff. It's not great. All right. However, we have Denson, who's done a nice job here covering this drag route. That's a tough route to cover, right? He's on this. He's here. He's close enough. But A&M's picked this up. So they've got time. We're in man. We've got a safety over top of this one, so that's going to be a tough throw. You've got a guy with separation down here. We're on him on the up backside. He's not looking there, though. But he sees this window and thinks, okay, we're good. I've bought a decent amount of time here. He's not on time anymore. He's off time on this throw. Things are moving fast for him. Jason Marshall's got his decoy guy just locked up. He's looking. Marcel Reed chooses to make a very bad decision, and it is a freebie of all freebies for Jason Marshall, who's put a lot of good stuff on film. You want to make a play right there, and he doesn't have it, which is really unfortunate. Does everything well, doesn't make a play there. That's going to result in A&M making a field goal here and going up 13-0. 2nd and 9, we had talked about coming into this game that Notre Dame largely shut A&M down. Of course, different quarterback with Connor Wegman in. They played a lot of press man. They played a lot of single high, and they almost always had their safety in the box. Florida elected largely not to do that for most of this game. Why? It seems like Ron Roberts wants to keep 2 high pretty much all the time. In this case, though, they are going to wind up with 8 players in the box, so certainly sufficient here to stop this play. And they should have a stop for at least bringing up a 3rd down. We're going to see Pup here go into the B gap. Pup's going to get cleared out of his gap. He's going to lose this battle. Going to get pushed out of the gap right there. And then we're also going to have an overcommit here. So again, Florida does this stuff a lot last year and this year and whenever. We just do not have good run fit, and it's frustrating that we don't have it here. Now you need your safety to make a tackle. Bridges in the game, the transfer from Oregon. We haven't seen him on film. He's an okay player. In this game, though, you are going to see Bridges do things Florida safeties don't do, which is actually get involved. So I'm going to give him that. And you're going to see the difference as we move along through this game. He's going to come down. He's going to try to get involved. Now, if he's a better tackler, he makes this tackle. But at least he's here at this point. If he can stick him down right here, it's 3rd down and 5 inside the 7-yard line. You'll take that. That's fine. We'll live with that. And he's going to go for this and just bounce right off of him, miss the tackle. And then there's Douglas, this is, again, at least Bridges comes in and tries to kind of use some momentum. There's Douglas waiting. Douglas gets taken for a ride. Douglas can't make the tackle. Douglas again on the ground. I mean, how often have we seen this right here, right? That's kind of the look of Douglas in this game. If you're Douglas, of course, you're not watching this, but if you were, I'd say, hey, man, I'm not picking on you, but you got to play to a higher standard. You got to watch yourself on film. You got to pick your game up. If you want to play safety at Florida, you cannot play like this. Got a lot of things in your game you got to clean up, and that's fine. That's the point of film, is to be constructive, not tear anyone down. And then here we go here with a tackle way late, and on 2nd down and 9, we're picking up an explosive run. So that's about par for the course for Florida's defense on this day, and most days. 1st and 10, the number one rule of good run defense, or good defense in general, is you want to be the one to set the edge. If you are the edge player, if you're the edge setter, you need to set the edge, and you cannot get caught going inside that C gap. You want to be outside. Let's watch Cersei, top of your screen right here. So far, so good. Let's strike this block. Let's create a little separation with our arms so we can leverage either into this gap or out here. We can be two-way. And we're trying to get that leverage. This is a big right tackle here from A&M, right? And that's the problem with Florida, is they've gotten very little to no production out of either their jack player or their defensive end. It's been a serious problem for Florida. We get nice penetration here. We're here. We're up the field here, right? A chance for a tackle for loss. If we can be strong enough here, we're already separating and we're getting out to the edge. But we are not going to be strong enough. In fact, we're going to get thrown back into the inside. There's Cersei back into the inside. By the time we release off, we're off to the races, and we are picking up yet another explosive play. Simple edge run, explosive play. At least Marshall comes down and makes a hit. Again, Marshall, I can't say enough about him. Last year to this year, he's a different guy on film. It's a guy who wants to get to the NFL. He wants to put stuff on film. He's going to play hard from start to finish, and he's largely doing that. And he finishes here with an actual hit, right, which is nice. It's good to see that, but again, another explosive. 3rd and 4, we're going to get a motion here, which is going to make Sharif Denson the edge player, the new edge defender. Let's watch what he does in this responsibility. We just saw Cersei miss his edge responsibility. Now he's going to come in. He's going to be the read guy, right? Simple little zone read from the quarterback. Eyes up. This is your read man. Nice job by Marcel Reed to identify this. His job is not to get pulled inside here. Not his job. He's the edge defender. He needs to be outside here, outside the shoulder of the quarterback. So if he keeps it, he can make a tackle or force him here to where he has help. That is not what's going to happen. He's going to get flat-footed and pulled in with the fake. There he is. He's pulled in. He's going to eat that fake like a cookie. I mean, he fully eats this thing. It's his favorite snack right here. Look at him. Look at Denson. He's just so hungry for it. I want it. I'm going to make a play. Here's the reality. He's never going to make that play. You have to do your job, right? You're never going to make that play. Even if he comes up in here, he's going to make that play. And maybe you can push off this way and help. But that's not going to be your play. Your job is to protect from this. However, he doesn't do that. Gets sucked in, eats the eye candy. Now, as quick as he is, he can't get out of here. Quarterback turns his shoulders. And again, Dents is not going to make the play. But look who does come down here with conviction and speed and momentum. Once again, is Bridges. That's not going to look good. That's not a great looking tackle, right? That's not how you want to tackle somebody if you are Bridges. But I applaud him for at least attempting to come downhill as a safety and fill a gap in the hole with some momentum. Again, not pretty. This is not a great teach tape here. It's not what you want to do. It's a great way also right there to basically pull your shoulder out of socket. That's not what it should look like. But compared to the rest of Florida's defense and how their safeties are generally not even attempting to do anything like that, you notice it on film that his safety's coming in to fill a gap. Winds up being 4th and 1 now, though, for A&M, which we will get to look at here next. All right, you're down 13-0. There's 2 minutes left in the second quarter. You've gotten absolutely dominated this entire game. The yardage total is disgusting right now. You're in the midst of just a complete free fall. Last year, we saw Austin Armstrong do things I really liked. In fact, on 4th down and 1, sometimes we'd have all 11 guys all up here, like literally daring the team to do anything you want. Well, with Ron Roberts at the helm, we're back to a different style of defense, which is best considered to be weak, soft, afraid, scared. I have no idea. We're playing a redshirt freshman. It's 4th down and 6 inches. We have 2 safeties here too high. We have 4 linebackers 3 yards off the ball. And we're literally saying to them, you can have this first down. We're going to give you a 5-man front. No real help. We're flat-footed and we're too high. If you want the first down, you can have it. We just don't want you to score a touchdown. Please don't score a touchdown on us, big bad Texas A&M. We know you haven't won a road game in 10 games, but please don't score on us. Let's just go ahead and let you have this first down, which is exactly what you're going to be doing. Again, if you're A&M, you're thinking, wow, this is glorious. Like they're going to give me this. And look at the post snap. We've got 3 guys here who aren't even committed to the run fit. We're playing safe, and Devin Moore's going to try to get in here. So we've got 3 guys not committed to the run fit on 4th and 6 inches. And A&M is going to just say, hey, let's basically just create a nice little funnel here. We're going to pull across this way so that we can create a nice little funnel and just stick it up in here for a 6-inch gain. Again, if you're in the booth for A&M and you see Florida's pre-snap look here, you're feeling really good about converting this, and converting it they are going to do with ease. Not really even touched. Doesn't pick up 6 inches, instead picks up about 4 yards. But again, that's the expectation. Pre-snap alignment there from Florida. You're thinking, we're going to give you this. We're afraid. We don't want to come down. We don't want to put 11 guys in the box. We'll let you have that and live to fight another day. It's a weak mentality. It's weak football. It's unacceptable. And again, it is a significant difference from the tactics Florida employed last year, which, of course, right then would have perhaps resulted in a touchdown. We saw that, right? We saw that happen. That can happen. You have to fill your gaps. But either way, I'd rather have a team line up 11 guys in the line of scrimmage versus a redshirt freshman and say, do something else against me, or I'll take the chance I miss a run fit, than to just give them a first down. Well, perhaps Ron is just a sage and he has a crystal ball and says, haha, James, you're just here analyzing film from the comfort of your office, and you can say whatever you want to say, but I have outsmarted you. I gave them that 4th and 1 so they could then have a 2nd and 31 after a bunch of penalties. So check mark to me, I risked nothing, and we're safe, and at 2nd and 31, we're going to get out of here still down 13-0. Except this is going to wind up being a really frustrating call. By the letter of the law, it's probably correct. You can't hit anyone anywhere with the crown of your helmet. A lot of modern football rules are very frustrating. You definitely want to protect players, but a lot of times if you're a defender, you're playing full speed, tackling someone is seemingly impossible to do correctly, especially when I think a lot of refereeing is done in slow motion. This very film review is often done in slow motion, but you're running at full speed with a player that can move and make moves on you, and it's frustrating. Regardless, you are going to see what I talked about earlier, and this will be the last play for Bridges, but you're going to see a guy come down here and fill this full speed. Look at that. How often have you seen this season? Again, he looks like a blur. It looks like he's shot out of a cannon here. It's almost so jarring to see this because that's what you should see. You should see exactly what he did here. Now, the technique here is not perfect. You want your head up, probably to the side of the receiver, letting your shoulder engage that hit. That's true. But you do want to see this blur coming downhill. He's not on your screen. Look, again, 2nd and 31. Here's your line of scrimmage. He's going to throw a 3-yard pass here. And right now, he's like, okay, I see him. He's not open. He's not open. He's open. Well, the safety by design is supposed to be coming downhill and making plays like this, because this is going to wind up being tackle right there, right? A 3-yard gain, and he takes a hit. The next time he's going to catch a pass like that and he feels like he's open, he's going to think maybe he's not open. The next time Marcel Reed wants to throw a pass like that, he's going to think, hey, maybe that guy's not that open. I don't want to get my receiver drilled. And that's exactly what you want to see from Bridges. I mean, that is a high-quality play, right? And you can see that Cam Jackson's fired up right here. Number 99's fired up. Come downhill as a safety and make your presence felt. Play with conviction. And he does that. Unfortunately for him, he's going to wind up getting called for targeting. And that's going to end his day. And that's really frustrating. And that's the nature of modern football and the crown of the helmet. But for Bridges and the few plays he played on this drive that he got in, you did see a safety coming downhill. The sad part is this safety obviously wasn't coached by Florida and was a transfer late in his career. So he certainly doesn't seem to be learning those things at Florida, as Florida's young safeties do that almost never. A&M's been running the ball all over you. It's 1st and 10. Getting into the red zone here where the field is smaller, it probably is wise to start with the too-high shell. We want to stay in that too-high shell, stay safe. We're down here in press. Again, you saw the film with Notre Dame. You knew it coming into the game. Notre Dame would have already had this guy down the line of scrimmage, single high, letting you know that we're going to fill the box up and not let you do what you want to do. But Florida says, no, we're good. We got a better plan. You've been clapping us up all half long. We're going to stick with it. Again, A&M's playing in a telephone booth here. They've got a ton of guys in the box. Florida's got, what's he doing? He's doing nothing. He's going to come in here late and guard the edge, right? But that's what they want you to do, because now interiorly, they're going to have plus numbers. We got linebackers chilling. Are they passing? Are they throwing? We don't know. Are they running, rather? And then we're just going to go ahead and create a ton of space. Again, this is what good running plays look like when you get them. They look like this. You've got a pulling guard coming around with no one to block yet. You've got a quarterback who's running. You've got a guy who doesn't recognize here. Your linebacker doesn't recognize the quarterback has the ball. You've got Pyburn who's doing his job out here, who does recognize, but he's not going to be able to make the tackle. Then this is what you want. That's what it looks like. It's good. He's running now. He's at 4 yards. Right there, he's touched. He's 3 yards before being touched, and that's going to take him down eventually at about the 1-inch line where he's not going to score. But that's what a good running play looks like. And again, by pre-snap alignment, if you're A&M and you're in the box, you're thinking, hey, this is a good play call. This is going to be good. This is probably going to be work for us. And you're getting a lot of that on this film review, where a lot of these play calls pre-snap look pretty good. A&M won't score on this play. They will go on to score a touchdown on the next play, putting them up 20-0 as they enter into the half. 2nd down and 8 now for A&M. They're going to pass this off. Castell's going to pass this motion off here to Douglas. Douglas is going to come down. And a lot of curious things are going to happen on this play. Out of the pistol, you're going to get play action. A&M's been running the ball, obviously having their way with Florida. You can run play action pretty successfully. And then off of that play action, you're going to get some curious stuff. And actually, right off the gate, you're going to get some curious stuff. And we're going to start with Jason Marshall up top. So normally, if you have a receiver outside the numbers and you're going to play any kind of man concept, you want to be inside leverage, pushing him outside to use the sideline as a defender. Typically speaking, if you're going to allow him to have an inside release, you're going to do so because you have safety help and you want to rob it, or you're going to push him to safety and drop off. It's not going to happen here. So Jason Marshall's curious. And then secondarily speaking, it's even more curious when you factor in what happens with Castell. We'll get to Douglas. Douglas is going to be the prime culprit here. Let's go to Castell first, though. What Florida is employing down here, there's your number 3 receiver right here. And Castell is looking at him, and no one else is. So you don't have a linebacker looking at the number 3 release here. You don't have Douglas looking at the number 3 coming across. You just have Castell. So essentially in the back end, we're playing this straight up, right? We're really playing this man to man and then to man. And then you're going to see Devin Moore kind of come out here in this regard to be a safety valve, right? So really, if you're looking at how Florida's doing this right now, if we freeze it, first of all, we're cooked, right? We're open. We're open right here in the flat on 2nd and 8. We're open right here because Castell does what Castell does and stay way off of somebody. He's not IDing the number 1 receiver here who's vertical releasing. He's not even looking at him, so he's not responsible for staying over top of that, which makes the inside leverage very curious. Now you're giving a quarterback the entire field to throw this ball. That's curious. Then you have Douglas, who's going to become extra curious as well. So across all these levels right now, this looks bad. Now let's look at Douglas. Let's watch just Douglas. Watch him come down. Just focus on Douglas the whole time here. This is going to be our target. Let's focus on him. He's going to come down. He's going to watch the fake. So he presumably thinks he might need to be in run fit. Although, again, Florida already has 8 defenders in the box. It's highly unlikely he's a run fit defender player at this at all. He should just be responsible for the number 2 right now. He shouldn't be in run fit at all. But he's going to look the whole time and then recognize, okay, the quarterback has the ball. I'm now going to try to get out here. And he's going to think he should just push him to reroute him and let him go perhaps to Marshall. That's what he thinks, because if you watch him, he's going to not get there and then turn right back around, look at the quarterback, and then open up and sit as if he's supposed to be, right, a buzz defender over here in the flat. So he's getting himself into the flat. He's a curl defender or a hook defender here, and that's what he thinks he's doing. He opens up this way. Pup's got the underneath. He's thinking, I've got the curl. Marshall's got me up top, and then I've got Castell here. That's what he thinks. And again, I don't know who's responsible here. There's so many weird things going on, which is the sign of a bad defense, that I can't tell you what's going on, other than I can definitely tell you that Castell is still not looking at the number 2, and neither is Marshall. So Castell thinks he's playing man, yet what he's doing, I have no idea. Again, he's doing Castell-like things. It's a first down marker here. I'm going to make sure he catches the ball and then tackle him over here. That's what I do. That's what our safeties do. Jason Marshall's got this guy locked up, but again, the reason you don't want to play this kind of leverage is a good quarterback can put the ball way over here, and he's out-levering you. Okay, whatever. And then Douglas is doing what Douglas seemingly does all over this film, which is just not guarding anyone. And we're off to the races for the easiest throw you can possibly imagine, where everyone's open, nothing looks good. And now all we have to do is complete this pass. And again, that's 10 yards open, right? 12 yards open, just complete it. Complete that. Then we're taking off down the sideline. Going to get a little block down here. We're going to finish this play, and we're going to score, right? We're going to wind up getting into the end zone. We're going to score a touchdown. And that is just disgusting. That's really, really, really bad, obviously, at all levels. It's hard to even assign blame on that play. Let's watch it live one more time so we can see this play out. Here you go, roll the tape. Play fake, look at Douglas, stuck underneath, ball's up, nobody's there, no one's looking. There's Marshall trying to make a tackle, and then he's going to wind up getting in the end zone. So that's just bad at so many levels. Busted coverage again. You're in week 3, you're in year 3. It's just outrageous. 33-20. Last play we'll look at here. The game is basically over, but you're still, if you're Florida, trying to get a stop here. It's first down. And now at this point in time, we're going to put 10 guys in the box. We're still not going to commit more to the line of scrimmage. We're going to commit just 5 here. But we're going to put 10 in the box because we're going to stop the run. They're probably going to run the ball. And that is going to leave DJ Douglas in a very unfortunate player position where he is, in fact, the run-fit defender right now. He is a run-fit defender, and he's doing his job. He's on the edge. He's here, quarterback keeper. Now he needs to come down here and make a tackle one-on-one on the very elusive Marcel Reed. And unfortunately for him, I'll play this full speed the first time. Unfortunately for him, right? That is not what you want to see. His soul is basically going to leave his body. He's going to depart from this earth right here on this fake. He plants his right foot. Look at his right foot. Watch Douglas's right foot. He's so convinced he's going to the inside. He plants his right foot. And then, that's a nasty head fake juke right there. And then Douglas's soul leaves his body. You can basically just see that it exits right here. It's like, I'm out of here. I don't want to be here anymore. This has been the worst game ever. I've been all over this film for all the wrong reasons. I'm good. I'm just going to end up on the ground right here, and I'm good. Like I don't want this anymore. I don't need this anymore. I don't want to play football anymore. And then there he goes. And then let's just get down and slide. If you read, let's get out of here with that move because that was disgusting. And I literally watched a man's soul leave his body. That's cold. And look, if you're a fan of A&M. And you see this, that's a disgusting move. It'd be hard for anyone to stop that move, but that is a highlight, as much of a highlight as you can have one. And Douglas, luckily, doesn't hurt himself on this play. He gets so juked right there. Marcel Reed taking souls, getting W's in the swamp for Florida's defense. Another disgusting, pitiful, horrible day. There is no excuse for this kind of stuff. It's just really bad football. And it needs to be fixed. And the only way I think to fix it, as everyone knows that's a Florida fan now, is to make wide sweeping changes that start at the top. And it's time for a restart. But man, really, really bad stuff on film for this one. As always, I'm James DiVirgilio. I will be back with you next week to break down some more film after the Mississippi State game. Let me know in the comments if you want to see much shorter videos. I could certainly pick just 2 or 3 plays each week going forward, especially if Florida goes the direction I think we all think it's going to go. I don't want to belabor these plays and belabor these points. Obviously, all of this is useful for learning more about football, but certainly there's a certain point where enough's enough. So let me know in the comments what you want to see moving forward, and I'll balance that as we head on throughout the season.